For those who don't know me, my name is Julia Mwiruri. I'm a Game of Learners ambassador, and we are happy to have our speakers on the call already. So we've been having a series of sessions after the Game of Learners program. Most of you are aware of that. And today we are privileged to have John Mark and Caroline on the call today, who are going to take us through the LEAP program. So I don't want to take much of their time because we only have 1 hour to be here. So in case you have any questions as you continue the session, you can use the chat panel. And this is the structure we're going to follow. For the next 15 minutes, the first speaker will introduce him or herself and share their journey into tech and how they ended up working for the LEAP program. Then the next 15 minutes, the second speaker will also do the same. After that, we'll have a 15-minute session where they're going to jointly talk about the LEAP program. And after that, we'll have a Q&A session, 15 minutes. So that is how we're going to use the next 1 hour. And without further ado, I would like to invite, who will go first? Maybe John Mark or Caroline, you can agree on who will go first.
Yeah, Caroline will go first.
Okay.
Hi,
Caroline,
hi,
hope I'm not putting you on the spot.
Hi, everybody. John Mark, I thought today we're changing the narrative and it's gentlemen first.
Yeah, it's always ladies first.
So let's ladies first. Okay. Wow. Yeah. So, team, I'm very, very excited to be here. Julia, thank you so much for all the logistics. Yeah. And so, where to start? So, this is where we talk about our journey, Julia, if I got the structure right.
Yeah. Just introduce yourself and how your journey has been.
Okay. Okay, great. It's always amazing when you hear that you're describing yourself. So my name is Caroline Jenga. I'm a business program manager for the LEAP program. Wow. So I joined Microsoft last year in March. 2 weeks just before we went on lockdown. So it's been a very interesting journey, meeting everybody virtually. At the same time, we're launching LEAP here in Kenya. So, putting processes into place and learning everything, basically. I could say baptism by fire, for, some of you have gone through that. So where is my journey? Before I joined Leap, I worked for another company just within Nairobi here. I was a program manager as well, but very, very interesting because it was with the engineering team again. And from there also I worked with the PMO in the same department in a solar industry. I am not technical by background, but I guess the universe has been telling me something amazing because 5 years I worked with the engineers in the hardware department as well as firmware teams. And then now here I am again at Microsoft working with this amazing team, software engineers. So yeah, I think the universe has been trying to lead me in this direction. I must say I am enjoying myself so much. Where I started, I've not always been a project manager. When I finished high school, uh, yeah, life threw a bit of lemons my way, and I decided to turn this into lemonade. So immediately after high school, actually, just 2 weeks later, I lost my mom. We had lost my dad earlier on, so now we are orphans. We were orphans at that time. I'm talking about we because it's my brother and I were just born, the two of us. And so now here, straight out of high school, and now I'm a young parent, a parent to my brother who was a teenager then. So what did I do? I must say my journey, I've really, really seen God because he has opened doors. Not only did he allow me, you know, open paths for me in order to be able to cater for my brother. So immediately at the same time after burying my mother, I started a job at a restaurant. But I knew that I wanted more in life, and not just waiting tables. It was fun at the time, and it was bringing home the bacon, but I needed something more. So as maybe you shall learn, I am very, very, I love people. So I talk to people. I figured, being in a restaurant, many people come in every day, and so I can talk to them and see what else is out there for me. And so on this particular day, I talked to a regular client, and I told him my vision. And it was surprising because at the same time also he had gotten from his networks an opportunity to get somebody to go and sit in for somebody who was going on leave. So I joined my first real job, Intertech Testing Services. So what Intertech Testing Services was doing was pre-shipment inspection for exports and imports. So that's how I landed my job into the corporate world. So in there, my boss identified that I was such a quick learner, and within such a short time, I grew from just the receptionist to the admin to anybody going on leave. I would sit in their desk and fill in for them, and that's how I landed my contract. Really, the first contract for 2 years. I must say, been very, very, I have been privileged because I have met people in my life who have helped me shape my career goal. My career goal, I knew I still wanted something bigger. And so I got myself a mentor. I did not know the meaning of that, but I knew I needed somebody to hold me, my hand and help me achieve my career goals. So I got one of the managers that I had, and we sat and I told him, I have no idea where I want to be, but I know I don't want to do this. I want an exciting role. And a challenge. I need more challenge. And then project management was a new discipline in the market. And so he told me, go research, but I think you could make a good fit in this. So he gave me a bunch of materials to read. And when I looked at project management, I thought, wow, this is what I want to be. Why? One, because it's always exciting. No project is the same, each project brings in a new challenge, and that's the adrenaline I was looking for. Yes, I put my efforts together. I had to save a bit of money and enroll myself to go and do a diploma. Remember when I finished high school, I did not go to any college at all. I just jumped into the workforce. So here I am. I now know what I want to do, and I enrolled. I just knew that if only I could manage to enroll myself, then I would finish my course. So it's been a long journey, I must say. It was almost 7 years, just because a lot of things happened in between. I got married, I started having a family, and so I was taking many breaks during it all. But I knew my end goal was to become a seasoned project manager, and I must say my journey is still ongoing. I'm learning from my different mentors here and there, but now having such an opportunity where you get to work on an amazing project that I'll talk to you about when we start talking about LEAP program, I must say I'm very, very fascinated. So my learning and what I would love to pass to all of you is, do not let anything limit your dream. The sky is not even the limit. Yeah. Any challenges coming your way, turn them into opportunities. Have I reached my end? No. Where will I be next year, in next 5 years? I have my dream and I'm still working towards that. So that's my journey. I hope I inspire somebody today in this call. Hi, Julia, you there?
Awesome. That. Yeah. I was waiting for John Mark to go next, but that was really inspiring. So maybe we can hear from John Mark.
Yeah, I mean, I was still pondering about what Caroline said, which is very inspiring. It feels like I should probably get a pen and paper and get a to-do list, like getting a mentor, things like that. I had not really considered before now. So thank you for that amazing testimony, Caroline. So for me, well, mine has been a little bit boring. um, Given that, okay, first things first, I studied computer science, which one can already predict how the trajectory will go, but not exactly. Because when I finished studying in the university, I didn't know what to do. Like, seriously, nothing came to my head. I wasn't good in programming. I wasn't good in networking. I wasn't good in anything. Let's just say I was at crossroads with what I wanted to do in life, more or less. And I think one challenge to that was because I had interests in everything, right? I had interest in medicine, literature, engineering, so many things. So it's just like having too many clothes and not knowing what to wear to the party. So I really didn't know what I wanted to do in life, so I was just there. So I started working as a program manager. I know Caroline Evisha. I started working as a program manager in NIDA. And so from there, given the varied interests I had, in so many areas, I was volunteering for stuff within the company, right, within NIDA. So for instance, because I knew a little bit of IT, I built a website for them. They didn't have a website before, typical Nigerian companies. And other things, drafting proposals, the normal project management stuff. And so from there, I felt like, well, people always say, this, that, this, that. So why not just start from somewhere, which I think is a major lesson to learn. When people ask me, what do you think I should do, right? Especially within IT, I always say, just start. Just start. So I picked up C# programming language. I was like, oh, well, I'm seeing people who are not that smart doing this thing, right? So it should not be that difficult. So you shouldn't look down on yourself, basically. So I, started looking up some tutorials and stuff. I worked as a program manager for about two years, right? 2015 to 2017. And then I started working as a software engineer miraculously from 2017. And I majored in C#.NET. All of the other stacks in C# like .NET Framework, .NET Core, .NET MVC. I never really went into mobile development. Sorry for anyone who's willing to ask me that. So I did that for about 3 years. And so within the company itself, so I did that for about under 2 years. So within the company itself, I also sort of like looked at other areas. Remember, I started with starting from somewhere. And to be fair, I really didn't see myself as a software developer per se. Like, I don't think I'll wake up and want to go open the computer to code. But I always was very inquisitive to how all of these modules, all of these components come together. So, during working as a software developer, I went into data analysis, I went into cloud architecting, cloud computing, SharePoint development, and so many other boring things, right? Very boring things. And so what I discovered was I was, in fact, put in charge of many others who didn't have, company-wide, who didn't have knowledge about each of those things. So for instance, like sales may want to do some reporting. So I was put in charge of training them, for instance, and things like that. But on July 2017, I got a mail asking me to write an essay. That was very weird. So I didn't apply for the job I'm currently in the Microsoft Leap. Somebody reached out to me and told me to write an essay. And so I wrote an essay, and before you know what was happening, I got interviewed by Chun Lu and William Adams, who are the co-founders of the Leap program. And so here am I today. I work as a technical instructor, taking, like as I always wanted to do, modules and courseware on software engineering, data analysis, cloud computing, a little bit of machine learning. Don't ask me questions about machine learning, please. And so many other, like Power Apps, for instance. I'm also good there, I guess. So basically, that's how my tech journey has been so far.
Amazing. I mean, it sounds like you had a lot of experience in very many different areas before you landed in the LEAP program. I think that's awesome. So now I'm sure most of us on this call are eager to learn more about the LEAP program. Some of us have just heard of that. We don't really know how it is. Some of us have tried getting in, but no luck. So I'll leave to you to expound more on the LEAP program.
Yeah, Caroline, you're the boss.
I like that you're volunteering me. Yeah, we should talk program management after this. You give me some tips. Anyway, yeah, so LEAP programs. I have something prepared. Let me just share my slides. Let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see your screen.
Okay, great. Yeah, so Microsoft Leap. I like the way you've mentioned that majority have heard about it, majority have tried in, but this is, I'm very, very happy to have this opportunity to just talk to you a bit about Microsoft Leap. So as you can see here, our model here is to learn, work, and transform. And yeah, we are a global apprenticeship program designed to accelerate job readiness for careers in technology. Those are my details there. You already know my name. So in this session, I'd like us to just talk a bit about what Microsoft Leap is and some of the modules that we have under Microsoft Leap. And then we'll have a chance for Q&A. Yeah, so just jumping straight there. What is Microsoft Leap? So Microsoft Leap's mission, first of all, is to recruit, develop, and upskill non-traditional talent, creating a connection to employability in the tech industry. Our apprentices come from all walks of life and they include diverse backgrounds, ages, formal training, communities, and more. So regardless of their background, they all share a passion, which is technology, yeah? And they demonstrate the growth mindset. I'm sure during your journey, you guys have been taken through this, resilience, grit, and perseverance, and especially grit because in software engineering or in tech just overall, I don't think you can survive there without grit, yeah? You must possess that. And then, yeah, so as I mentioned, it's a global apprenticeship team. And I'm sure by now you're asking yourself questions, especially when it comes to the non-traditional talent. And you'll be able to understand more when we start talking a bit about the models. But let's just talk a bit again on what the apprenticeship or what the Microsoft Leap is. So, and what we offer. So one, we are the leading apprenticeship program in technology, and we have amazing, experiences. One, accelerated experience. You've already seen that in the mission that we hold. So our curriculum is combined structure of in training and hands-on experience. We also do offer flexible curriculum, which provides customer-based focused curriculum on the different disciplines. For example, John Mark has taken you through some of the things that he's working on. For our LEAP program now, some of the pathways that we offer are software engineering. We are privileged to have kicked off in Kenya a senior software engineering. We also have TPM, the technical project manager, and then we have the BPM, business program manager pathways. Number three, we focus on diversity and inclusion. Microsoft is very, very passionate overall in all their programs, when it comes to diversity and inclusion. And so for us, we are known for hiring tech talent from all walks of life, yeah, and not just the typical university. You'll understand a bit more when we talk about what is it? What am I looking for? Yeah, for the modules. And now I think this is a good juncture for us to jump in and see some of the modules that Microsoft Leap offers. So we have what we are calling the external skilling or upskilling. So for this, the Microsoft Leap apprenticeship has hundreds of apprentices succeeding in the program. And I've put here Kenya just because, this is the region that we are in. And we pride ourselves with 98% employability across tech and 68% of individuals as Microsoft full-time employees. So we have a bit of case study here in Kenya. As I mentioned earlier, we kicked off, or we launched Microsoft Leap in last year in March, just when I came on board. And we had an amazing cohort for junior software women only. It was a first cohort. KC1 here means cohort 1. So the 10 women were fresh graduates, and we wanted to create a pipeline for different departments within Microsoft. So many of these graduates from our program, I'm very happy to report that they have converted ever since. We have 2 full-time employees at Microsoft right now, and we have 2 at at Safaricom, which is a partner organization, and we're still working with 3. I think 3 will have interviews in the next weeks for this batch, 22nd to 26th. So we're wishing them all the best in that. So you can see out of 10 and such report, that is a good number, and we pride ourselves in that. Not so long ago, in January up to March, part-time, we launched another interesting one for East and West Africa women entrepreneurs. This was a She Trades initiative. So it was being sponsored by this group here in Trakan. It's a part of the Commonwealth. And so they work with women entrepreneurs across the board. But now among them is one batch, which is women in the tech space. And so we were very happy to have, again, another group of 10 who were scaling them and upskilling. And so when we did a survey, they were interested in some 3 disciplines. One, Azure Fundamentals, Azure DevOps, and Azure Machine Learning. And John Mark was also part of this team instructors who took them through this. So these very, very busy individuals made time part-time. So we had 3 days in a week for 3 hours each day, so a total of 9 hours in a week, and where they would come and sit in class and just learn all sorts of things. It was amazing that at the end of it, they were able to create their own websites, and were very, very excited to learn about Azure, because they had heard that Azure was a new kid in the block, and they wanted to move some of the data that they've been storing in Excel, now moving this into the cloud. Currently, we're very, very happy that we kicked off our senior software engineering cohort. So this is sponsored actually by ADC. This is one of the departments that you're very, very familiar with, that sponsors many, even the program that you're currently on. So this is ongoing. It's again part-time in the evenings, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the goal is to source, upskill, and hire apprentices into this senior software engineering. So there was a gap or a need because the tech community is really somewhat shrunk, especially in our region. And so there are not so many people in the ecosystem. And so, ADC is continually hiring. I think they have some targets, about 200 that they wanted to hire. And among those positions, they wanted to hire senior software engineering. And so this cohort are very, very excited because it's refreshing. So you find that the higher people go into their career trajectory, they become managers, and so they are not very savvy, hands-on. And so the goal is to refresh them, upskill them, and get them ready to get into this position. So that's ongoing. We can't wait to share with you the result of that. So that is one of the modules that Microsoft Leap has. Let's look at another one, which is now the internal. So this one, Microsoft is now working with people. Just a minute. Hi, you need something from me? Okay. Okay, sorry for that. Yeah, so for the Leap internal, it's skilling internal talent from Microsoft. For example, teams who work for Microsoft in different teams, maybe in the sales department or admin roles, but are very, very passionate, in tech and would like to transition to the tech roles. Yeah, so the internal module is designed for that. And this launched actually in Redmond just this month in April. And so it's now delivering in the US. We can't wait for that to start delivering in our region as well. The other module we have is talent as a service. So talent as a service, again, here is, what are we doing to work with the different people who are in the ecosystem, and we provide the LEAP service, the LEAP model as a service to them. So you'll see here, again, Apprenticeship has had hundreds of apprentices succeed into the program with 100% full-time employability globally. In the model, an apprentice is structured learning up to 5 months and can complete on-the-job apprenticeship up to 7 months with the help from instructors and mentors along the way. If they're a good fit, then they're set up for Microsoft interview loops, and then at the end, they get an apprenticeship. So those are the different kinds of models, and we are continually excited to explore in our region, for example. Yeah, so that's what I had. There's a bit more, but I thought to just mention a very high level of what Microsoft is and what happens. I'm sure from the questions then we can have discussions on if from those who've tried, what is the criteria, etc. So I'll leave it at that and then wait for Q&A. Do you want us to jump straight to John Mark? Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Caroline. John Mark? Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, it looks like I was muted, as usual. Yes. So basically, the LEAP program, off the top of my head, can you all hear me, please? Okay, nice. So off the top of my head, the LEAP program was formed by 2016. So that's about 5 years ago in the US. And it started with just about 28 plus participants, and it has grown to over 600 participants globally. So, that's one testament to Caroline's talk about, our traction so far over the years. So basically, think about the LEAP talent at a very simplistic level, right? I don't want to bore you with so many jargons. Think about the LEAP program as a funnel. It's just one of the recruiting funnels that we have within Microsoft. So, for instance, you must have heard probably about university recruiting. You must have heard probably about military recruiting, or, for those with disabilities, for instance. These are special funnels, different from the general recruiting funnels, where you just post on the general website and people apply for senior or junior roles. So what's the point? So the LEAP program is basically a funnel for non-conventional talent. And by non-conventional talent, we're talking about people who probably didn't study computer science, who probably are single, sit-at-home moms, those who probably don't have the time to go to work, and you get the picture. So people who are not what you expect to hire within IT, like software engineers, you expect, oh, you must have studied computer science, oh, you must have worked as a software engineer for 20 years, things like that. So you're trying to bridge that gap, basically, of those who don't have traditional or conventional talent pool. So, so basically, the different two very distinct models you should just take note of is that majorly in the US, LEAP participants who apply for the LEAP program, remember it's just a funnel, right? It's just a funnel. Who apply for the LEAP program, apply and work directly under Microsoft, okay? So this is where Caroline calls the internal or classic apprenticeship. In other words, they work with Microsoft, like directly. But when you come to other areas like Nigeria, like Kenya, so far, I know recently we're now diverting into more classic apprenticeship, working with the ADC, for instance. But for majority of the time, especially for Nigeria and Kenya, we have been majorly working with Microsoft partners In other words, so let's say that you have a company in Nigeria called Flutterwave, or you have a company like Tech Experts or Paystack. You get the picture, or Safaricom in Kenya. What the Microsoft Leap program does is to partner with those people to say that we're looking to bring in non-conventional talent, diverse from a diverse pool of applicants. So say for Nigeria, for instance, it's majorly focused on women, like 100% women. Like we've had like 4 cohorts right now, and I can tell you for free, in Nigeria, they are all women. Yeah, so guys, sorry about that. It's not our fault. That's how it is. So basically, what Microsoft Leap does is to liaise with these partners to say that this is what we're trying to achieve. These are our goals. These are our objectives, and then come up with a kind of understanding, and then put out on advert day and bring in people. So how this works is I'm seeing so many people posting about, oh, I tried applying, I couldn't. You guys are crying, trying to bring you some handkerchiefs to clean your tears and stuff like that. Okay, so this is how it works now. It's possible that the requirements you're getting, or you tend to understand from the process, you're not really meeting up to it. So let me just give you a very basic requirement, which is that for the most part, you're expected to have a college degree or university degree. It doesn't have to be computer science. It can be archaeology for all intents and purposes. It can be humanities. It can be literature. It can be, name it, music. Just have a college degree. So what typically happens is if you're applying for the LEAP program without having been done with school, generally speaking globally, or if you're in Nigeria, it should be done both with college or university, and then you should have done your NYSC. So for instance, if you're applying in Nigeria as a lady, because Nigeria only focuses on women for now, even if we are currently working on partnering with ADC to bring in other talents that are both women and guys. So, I mean, how this works is that you need to be sure that you meet the requirements. So I see many guys in Nigeria applying, and I'm smiling at my screen like, hey, sorry, no. So this is one of the things you should be conversant about. And very currently, we started initially when the Microsoft Leap program started in Nigeria, 2019 August. We started with in-person training. I'm talking from my point of view because I'm the technical instructor based in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria here. So we started in-person training, right? So, in person, like physical. You have to come to class, look at people, make jokes with them, teach, things like that. But, the COVID situation meant that we had to sort of explore other options, basically. And then we went fully remote, which has been very fun so far. So currently in Nigeria, we are emphasizing on several key areas for the classroom training, which are software engineering with C#, cloud computing on Azure, and data analysis with Power BI. And my humble self has been taking charge of all of those areas. So basically, that's like a high-level idea, an overview of what the LEAP program offers, especially in Nigeria and in Kenya. Now, you may be wondering, all right, you probably have seen other programs within Microsoft, like Microsoft for Africa, for instance, and you're thinking, what is the difference, right? I mean, what's the difference, basically? So the difference is that Microsoft for Africa is decentralized. Okay, it's more like an Udemy, it's more like a Coursera. They provide these courses and then create a talent pool where, probably later in the future, people can use those skills to apply to other companies. But the Microsoft Leap is different in the sense that the aim, we have been rambling about so many other things, right? But the core aim of Microsoft Leap program is employability. In other words, when they liaise with partners or when they liaise with teams within Microsoft, they are saying from the onset, hello, you need to employ these people, right? So you need to. We're not being agnostic or ambivalent about it, like just sitting back and saying, oh, okay, you have the skills, so you go out there and apply for jobs outside there. We are eager to have people affixed either with partner companies as the model portends or within Microsoft itself. So that's basically like a high-level rundown of the LEAP program. Does that
Amazing.
make
I
any
think
sense?
yes, it does make sense. I personally have a clearer picture of what the program is about after that engagement. So, if you don't have anything else to add, I think we can jump right into the question and answer session. I don't know, Caroline, if you have any other thing to add.
Yeah, I have one more thing to add. So one of the things I want to add is that, the more a program persists, in other words, the longer the program continues, what you discover is that it becomes more competitive, right? So what I want to add is that always try as much as possible to give yourself a competitive advantage. So, for instance, if you're looking to apply to a software engineering role, for instance, you don't need to have studied computer science or all of those nonsense. All you need to be concerned with is, for instance, have a portfolio, no matter how basic, even if it's an HTML website, an HTML page. Write on things on LinkedIn. Put yourself out there, basically, because you need to be able to set yourself apart. So basically, how this happens is sometimes when you look through applicants' profiles and CVs and whatnot, it feels like you're looking at a ghost because number one, you don't have any digital footprint, or such a person doesn't have any digital footprint, and you're wondering, okay, how do I contextualize this applicant's mindset, even if he or she doesn't even know how to code, basically. So one of the things I would love to say is give yourself that competitive advantage, put yourself out there, get a mentor, do things that put you on the spotlight, and don't just sit back and send your CVs here and there. Okay, so that's it from me. Nothing from me at this stage. Yeah.
All right, thank you for that. So we can now start. We have a few questions on the chat. We have one from Mildred, and she's asking, last year I did apply for the junior LEAP program, but I did not get a chance, neither a reply. What are the qualifications for one to be chosen for the program? So I think, John Mark, you've talked about this, but Mildred, in case that question was not responded to fully, please feel free to ask something that might have been left out. But I think, John Mark, you did respond to that, not unless you have something else you can add in response to that question.
No, I think that's fine for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next question from Bethany, how do you check on your skill level? I'm seeing level 62 to 63 in SWE.
Yeah, where is that? Oh, okay. I just understood that this isn't the you're using Meetup, right? Meetup as the meeting point. You're not using Teams, are you? I mean, I can't see the questions on Teams, so I'm assuming that you're using another platform.
No, we're actually using the meeting chat on Teams.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it now from Bethany. Yeah, sorry, I can see it now. So how do you check your skill level? I'm seeing level 62 to 63 in seniors. Caroline, we have more ideas about that. But basically, when you see things like this, it's just a proprietary way of measuring your skill within companies. Google has a way of saying theirs. Microsoft has a way of saying that. So basically, just for you to like network with people within Microsoft to really understand what those skills portend. Okay, so I can just give you an insight. So within Microsoft full-time employees, from level 59 to 60, 61, no, 59 to 60 is junior level, right? 61, 62 thereabout is mid level, and then 62 upwards is senior level. Okay, so this is just a classification. So I mean, generally speaking, if you have a trajectory, right, an obvious trajectory. Let's say you started working 3 years ago. So obviously you know that you're a mid-level engineer. More often than not, it's possible that you're a genius and you've been able to scale through so many things and become very proficient. But generally speaking, 2, 3 years of work experience makes you mid-level, right? And then when you have, say, from 5 years, 4, 5 years, 6 years experience, then people are like wanting to listen to what you have to say, because that means you're a senior software developer. In other words, you've probably led a team before. You've probably developed very complex distributed applications, and things like that, basically. So when you see things like this in any application, it just means that, oh, you need to go and check up, just Google online or something and see what this skill level means. But I can tell you for free, so 263 there above is senior level, 60, 61, 62 there about is mid level, 59, 60 are people just coming from university, in the US mostly, who just are entry level senior, software developers. So that's the meaning. So you can know your skill level from what I just mentioned, right?
Yeah, and then just to add something on that. So for each trajectory, again, will for example, like this one, the senior software is being sponsored by the Microsoft, the ADC. So we start with them, and they gave us a set of requirements that this is how we will know that this person meets. So one of the ask was, this person must have been leading a team for the past 8+ years. They must have had a master's in software engineering or engineering in general. So you put those set of requirements together, and then every time you go onto our application portal when it's open, you'll always find these requirements again repeated there. So as you're applying for this job, you will know what is the requirement and what's expected. And obviously, you'll be able to gauge whether you are ready for that, and if not, then for the next time. But I love one thing that John Mark mentioned: build your portfolio. I know majority of us are working even on personal projects here and there, but we haven't documented them. We haven't uploaded this on our gists. So go ahead and do that. Volunteer as much as you can. Any project you're working on volunteering, please upload that, update your gist every time, and within no short time, you will see that you've accumulated the experience years that are required for most of these opportunities.
Okay, awesome. So you've mentioned about the portal, and we have a question from Emmanuel, and as he's asking, how do I apply for the LEAP program? Is there a link or a website? So maybe you can give the instructions.
Yeah, I'm posting it right away. I really don't know why it isn't. Okay, that's come. Okay, so it's on the chat right now. That's the Microsoft Leap website for application purposes.
And
So
then
you're not going to go
please
directly.
also. Sorry.
Yeah, go on, please.
I was going to say, also feel free to join us, follow us on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and that way you get notified every time there's a new application. For example, I know, just to let the cat out of the bag, I know we are working on a LEAP hackathon and for month of June. So we will be posting that maybe sometime in May. Yeah, so if you followed us, then you'll be able to get notified, and then you'll follow the link every time when the portal is open.
Okay, amazing. So we have one from Pamela. Thank you, John Mark. I have seen the roles you mentioned. Is product management and UX research there too, apart from software engineering? So I think that's directed to you, John Mark.
Yeah. So for now, UX design is only in the US, and also I don't product management. Product management isn't in the curriculum at all. Isn't in the topical areas at all. So basically, you have in Nigeria, you have, like I mentioned, software engineering, technical support, and data analysis. And in Kenya, you have software engineering, I think, and some Azure fundamentals too. You mentioned Caroline.
Yeah, so that was customized. Sorry. Yeah, so we customized that for that particular sponsor and the client. So yeah.
Okay, I get it. So basically, you don't have those two, right? In Nigeria, but you can always follow the LinkedIn page. I'm going to post it very quickly, in order to see updates about new pathways that we currently have. Okay, so let me just do that very quickly. Somebody posted talked about steps, application steps, right? So this is the application process. Let me post the application process in first. Okay. This is the application process posted. That's Kelvin and says, what are the steps and how long? That means the time frame for the recruitment process. I mean, so it's no. I mean, Caroline will have the answer to that. I don't know how long. I mean, it waivers. It varies. So, but you can give like
Okay.
an idea.
Yeah. So I'll give you. So you remember we've mentioned the offerings or just the slight differences that we have when it comes to the offerings in the US and what we're having in our region. Remember, in our region here, we are still, trying to bridge the gap and customize for our geographical needs, right? If I may say so.
Mhm.
So a typical apprenticeship program in the US will take 3 weeks in class and then another 13 weeks on the apprenticeship. After that, you'll get a chance to interview at Microsoft, and then if you're successful, you're converted into FT full-time roles. In Kenya, for example, let me talk about Kenya. Perhaps John Mark may talk about Nigeria. So in Kenya, we continually try to work with the particular cohort and see what works with them. So, for example, the first cohort that we did, we thought that the typical 6 weeks would work, for example. But at the end of the 6 weeks, that was our pilot program. So we were also learning a lot. There's a lot of lessons learned from that one. So we found that at the end of the 6 weeks, unfortunately, we still hadn't met our success criteria. So we added another 4 months. And so in 4 months now, we could feel that, wow, there's impact. We had a couple of mock interviews, and we could see that they were grasping the fundamentals again. So for this so for the women, again, I've mentioned the one we did with the women entrepreneurs. Again, we sat down and customized what would work for them. One, because they're very, very busy people. So there was no time that's the same with. So for this senior software engineering, again, we crafted this based on hours, because this is a part-time, it's evening class. So how many hours do we feel that they need to cover? And I think it's coming to 280 class hours. And then combined with some hackathon and mock interviews, it's and project work. Yeah, there's also project work. So it's been, there's no one particular one that we have had for our here, but we've just been customizing per the client, the cohort. John Mark, you want to talk about Nigeria?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's basically the same thing.
Yeah,
holistically. So I think the question that was termed on the how long the process takes. So basically, I think like from putting out the application to you applying to getting the feedback shouldn't go beyond 1.5, 2 months.
Yeah.
At the most, right? So basically that's how long you can bear in mind. So let's just say 1 month on the average. So from the moment the job goes out, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so is basically what Caroline mentioned. Okay, can you share the LinkedIn info? The LinkedIn info has been shared. You can see that below. Given that they want anonymous, anonymous, what's your name? Given that they want non-traditional candidates, why does Microsoft only hire degree graduates? That's an excellent question. And really, it brings us back to the labor requirements in most countries, especially in Africa. Remember, we started by saying that the Microsoft partners with some partner companies, right? Microsoft partner companies, in order to bring these people in. And most of them require, if not all of them, require that you need to have a degree. I mean, it can be third class, it can be a pass for crying out loud, but you need to have a degree. That's just labor laws. It's just almost like saying why can't companies employ people without an NYSE in Nigeria? I mean, that's asking for some fines from the government. So it's just really about laws. So non-traditional in the sense that these are not IT-oriented candidates, for instance. These may be people who have worked, mothers who have worked and they left work to focus on their families and stuff and are looking for a way to get back in. These are for fathers who have been furloughed, people. So, for instance, I have friends that older friends, not like my mate, I'm quite small. Older friends who have worked in the construction industry. When the construction companies went moribund in Nigeria, they were out of work for, let's say, 5-6 years, right? And so you want to give these people the chance to come back. You're not going to be so stern as somebody who studied computer science because your aim is to give them a way to come into the IT industry. Okay, so that's just the idea basically. So laws and then some other nuances that we have recognized in the talent pool. Okay, is it safe to say, Evelyn asking, is it safe to say that ongoing undergraduates have lower chances to qualify for the program? I mean, I think for now, ongoing undergraduates have some chances in the future, but for now there hasn't been any opening for those who are currently in school. So but there are talks, for instance, to go into internship for people who are still in school. So this is why you need to follow the LinkedIn page to get updates on what those talks have concluded on, basically. Hello, there are only females applying in Nigeria. That does seem fair to me. Yeah, it seems fair to me too. I think you meant to say that doesn't. I think you meant to say that doesn't seem fair. Yeah, I mean, well, you can argue that it seems fair. Yes, I agree with you very well for that. Caroline, you have something to add to that.
Yeah, remember, you guys are in tech, and you'll agree with me that the numbers of men, the diversity or the gender parity, we still have work to do to make our sisters meet the numbers of the brothers in the tech space. So that is one thing. That is one of the pillars that we're also working hard to bring diversity and inclusion, and at least bring that number to 50-50. So it's an ongoing effort. I see another question there. When is the next application for juniors in Kenya? And then again, please tell us more about the upcoming hackathon. So the next application, again, please follow us on LinkedIn and all that. You'll get notified. As for what I've mentioned, the upcoming hackathon, we're still in the planning phase, but yeah, we do plan to run the hackathon in June. So right now I don't have much information to divulge to you, but if you do follow us, you'll be getting all this notification. Yeah, also we will, I think we'll advertise internally first, as well as on our portal. So since I think you're still ongoing, you will get a chance to be able to get notified when to start application.
Okay, so I see our time is how much gone and we have a lot of questions. So hopefully you can maybe share a link to your social media handle so that we can, in case of any follow-up questions. But we only have a minute left, and I would request John, Mark, and Caroline to maybe give us your final words. So to everyone on the call, maybe your final remarks. And maybe I can ask Caroline a question. You started by mentioning that it was like the universe was directing you towards some direction. So are you going to listen to the universe and its advice, or you have a plan of your own?
Yeah, I figured, I may not go and do C# and all that. I'm also advanced in age, so my brain is a bit old. But yeah, I can, support, because program management is amazing because you support people to do what they best know how to. So I don't have to become a tech person, for example, but I'm here to unblock you and to really give you all the resource that you need for you to perform your job very well. So we work well together that way. But yeah, I do now understand a bit of this jargon. It's a benefit. It's an added advantage for me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So for me, my last words will be: listen. For many of us, even those who claim to have some experience in IT, it happens that you really don't know what you want to do at this stage. You probably have many interests, right? One thing I want to mention to you is that IT is more connected than you can imagine. The connection, the interconnectedness, say for instance, between Azure cloud computing and software engineering, believe me, it's very much. So what I would say is, when you pick interest in something, run with it. When you pick interest in something else, at this stage, right, you're still undergraduate for the most part, let's say 95% of you. When you pick interest in something else, run with it. You wouldn't know where all of those skill sets converge, because the skill sets you're going to have in software engineering, in SharePoint development, in Power Apps, and all of these things can be applied to so many other areas. So when you have the time, like you have the time currently, cast your bread upon many waters, like Ecclesiastes said. Just sow seeds here and there, and then you get to reap them later on. If I'm talking to somebody who is coming into IT at the age of 35, 40, this isn't what I would say. But for you, start somewhere. Start, even if you're confused, but you have something that you love. For now, you may lose the interest in the next 2 months. Still start and learn it. And so when you go further and say, "Oh, I don't want to do cloud computing anymore. I want to do programming," go ahead and do it. Okay, so as it goes that way, your IT skill sets are getting more diversified, and you become more of a utility to so many other companies that are looking for talents like you.
Thank you so much for those words, John Mark. So I personally think that session was very productive. I have learned a lot, and I hope that is the same case with everyone on the call. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining the call, and I wish you all an amazing